Karens destroyed on paternity court.
What reason would she have to claim that your brother...
Because what he has going on, he's trying to be a rapper.
People who are trying to be rappers, they don't have any money, so...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but...
Was there sexual contact?
Yes, Your Honor.
So how can you not expect this woman to do that?
Because that was her best friend.
Miss Davis claims with certainty that Mr. Gilbert is the biological father of her son, Corey. She believes that Mr. Gilbert's doubt about being the father is fueled by the influence of his sister. While Mr. Gilbert concedes that he initially believed he was Corey's father, rumors from his family changed his perspective. Family needs to stop being Karen.
We planted this baby, and then when I got pregnant, he was there, and it's like when he told his family I was pregnant, that's when they turned against me, and they had put in his mind that he's not the father of my son.
Tell me about the relationship.
We met in my old neighborhood. It was like love at first sight when we was in love. I didn't want to get pregnant, but he wanted a child.
Judge Lake questions Mr. Gilbert's paternity doubts despite his desire to have a baby with Miss Davis. Mr. Gilbert's suspicions arise from his disapproval of Miss Davis's friends. However, Miss Davis defends herself, emphasizing that Mr. Gilbert knew of her friendships beforehand. The judge is surprised to learn they were only together for 4 months before the pregnancy.
You already decided you want her to be the mother of your children 4 months?
Yes, ma'am.
So why do you doubt paternity then?
He wrote a love song about me.
You're a singer, Mr. Gilbert?
Yes, ma'am.
And you wrote a love song about her?
Yes, ma'am.
So I don't understand how you're doubting her.
It's not down her, it's just down the situation at hand.
Mr. Gilbert, once confident in his paternity, is now in doubt due to family influence. Looking at a photo where he kisses Miss Davis's pregnant stomach, both appear blissfully happy. He is deeply upset, wanting the child to be his. However, family disagreements cast uncertainty over the child's paternity.
She was messing with other people at the time, Your Honor.
What other people? You don't even know me.
That's why I'm saying we heard from people that she was pregnant before she started messing with my brother. And my brother, if he could have kids, he'd have 6 of them. He hasn't have any. And that's why we're in denial, because my brother, he's sick and he hasn't conceived any kids.
Miss Jones asserts that the child doesn't resemble her brother, Mr. Gilbert. As doubts surfaced during Miss Davis's pregnancy, Jones mentioned that Gilbert had been told he couldn't produce kids due to scarlet fever. Yet Davis argues that while other women claim to be pregnant by Gilbert, she was the one who actually was.
What reason would she have to claim that your brother...
Because what he has going on, he's trying to be a rapper.
I was in the music business for a long time. People who are trying to be rappers, they don't have any money, so...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but people think, I know they don't have any money, but people think they're going to make it, so of course they'll try to pin the baby on you.
Miss Jones states that she heard rumors about Miss Davis having threesomes and being pregnant before meeting her brother. Miss Davis firmly denies these allegations, emphasizing that she planned her child with Mr. Gilbert and that these rumors are baseless. Mr. Gilbert seems to be caught between the conflicting accounts.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Gilbert, you are the father. Miss Davis, what are you feeling, honey?
Because I've been trying to get this out for so long, and it hurt. It hurt bad.
Miss Hillman claims Mr. O'Neill got her pregnant and hasn't done anything for their 13-month-old son, DeMarcus. She wants a DNA test to prove he is the father. O'Neill is certain he's not the biological father. Miss Hillman reveals that Mr. O'Neill has no relationship with DeMarcus and doesn't provide financially. Her mother and the baby's godmother help her instead.
Well, Your Honor, he don't do nothing for him. They don't have no relationship together. Like when I hold him, Your Honor, and my baby go to reach for him, he ignore him.
Does he provide for the baby financially?
No, he don't do nothing. My mom and the baby's godmother is the one that actually helps me with everything. And that's not right. That's not right on my son, because he didn't ask to be here.
Mr. O'Neill admits that he expressed interest in being in a relationship with Miss Hillman shortly after meeting her. However, he now doubts he's the father of her child, suspecting she might have been pregnant before they met. Miss Hillman and her family believe the child looks like Mr. O'Neill and argue he should take responsibility.
You all met, and very quickly you said you wanted to be in a relationship with Miss Hillman. Is that correct, Mr. O'Neill?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so you did tell her, okay, we're in a relationship now, and you all were having sex. Were you using protection?
No.
So
I know.
Man wasn't either.
Mr. O'Neill alleges he saw Miss Hillman in suspicious situations with her ex, pointing to text messages between them as proof. Miss Hillman denies these accusations. Mr. O'Neill claims he physically caught her with her ex on her mom's porch, which Miss Hillman vehemently refutes.
Mr. O'Neill, do you have any reason to believe she was still having sex with her ex?
I think he stayed the night when I left.
You know what? I'm just gonna say it like this. You was a deadbeat. You know that baby is yours. He looked just like y'all. You should step up whether or not. If you wanted this, why wait till he 13 months? You should have did it in the beginning.
Mr. O'Neill recounts an incident at the park where he was approached by a stranger inquiring if he was Miss Hillman's baby daddy. After confirming, the stranger alleges that the baby actually belongs to his friend. Mr. O'Neill's reaction in this situation made him seem like he was trying to act like a Karen.
Was she pregnant or was DeMarcus born when this happened?
He was already born.
So at that time, you were accepting him as your child? You told the man yes.
At the time, until he got a little older.
And then when he got older, what happened?
He started not looking like me.
Judge Lake addresses Mr. O'Neill about his doubts concerning the paternity of DeMarcus. Initially, Mr. O'Neill accepted the child, but as DeMarcus grew, he began to have reservations, fearing the child didn't resemble him. Ms. Hillman disputes this, arguing that DeMarcus shares noticeable traits with Mr. O'Neill's family. Does the DNA report reflect the same?
Mr. O'Neill, you are the father.
Can I see him?
You did all that.
Can I see him?
Miss Hillman, would it be
I smell
okay
what?
if Mr. O'Neill saw his son?
that's fine.
I'm happy.
You look happy.
Ms. Schneck claims that Mr. Robinson began doubting the paternity of their daughter, Serenity, when she turned 2, causing him to distance himself, which hurts their child. Mr. Robinson asserts that he was deeply involved in Serenity's life from her birth. However, when Ms. Schneck, behaving like a Karen, suddenly suggested he might not be the biological father.
So, Mr. Robinson, I want to understand what happened that changed everything for you as it relates to your little girl.
Well, Your Honor, up to 2 years of Serenity's life, I was there for her and Mrs. Shank until about 5 months. She was 5 months pregnant. She told me that I may not be her father because she slept with a friend.
Around 5 months into her pregnancy, Ms. Schneck admitted to Mr. Robinson that she had slept with one of his friends, casting doubt on who the biological father was. Ms. Schneck was initially unsure about the paternity when she discovered she was pregnant, as she had been in an on-again, off-again relationship with Mr. Robinson.
When you found out you were pregnant, did you think he was the father, or did you know right off the bat there could possibly be another father?
I didn't know. When I first found out I was pregnant, he was there, like he said. We were in an on and off relationship. Around the time I had slept with him, I did sleep with somebody else.
Ms. Schneck admitted to Mr. Robinson that she had relations with another man when the condom broke. She originally believed Mr. Robinson was the father, but doubt arose, prompting her to text her cousin about her concerns. Despite the uncertainty, Mr. Robinson was present at the birth and remained involved in the child's life.
I was there through her whole pregnancy. I was there through her birth certificate. My name is on it.
And then now you have this beautiful little girl, and you step up and you're her father.
Yes, ma'am. Up until the 5 after when she told me that she had slept with somebody else, that's what made me push myself away from Serenity.
Mr. Robinson began to distance himself from Serenity after learning that Ms. Schneck planned to have another man tested for paternity. She couldn't locate the other man, but believed her daughter looked more like him than Mr. Robinson. Despite their rocky relationship, the two share another child, which Ms. Schneck confirms looks like Mr. Robinson.
You say Mr. Robinson now treats baby Serenity differently than your other child.
Yes.
Explain.
Him and his mother came and picked up my son, and my daughter was devastated because she couldn't go. Even sometimes when my son talks to his father on the phone, and after he gets off, Serenity says, "I want to talk to daddy," and my son says, "That's not your daddy."
After talking to his father, Ms. Schneck's son tells Serenity, "That's not your daddy." The judge remarks that children shouldn't be involved in adult matters. Then Ms. Schneck's mother, Donna Schneck, steps up to testify. She's present to support her daughter and is asked about her observations of the situation.
When it comes to 2-year-old Serenity Shank, Jamario Robinson is her father. How do you feel, Mr. Robinson?
I feel great.
Good.
I feel great.
Mr. Watson disputes being the father of Miss Mahoney's son, Kevin, suspecting she was with 2 other men during his absence. Miss Mahoney, acting like a Karen, adamantly denies these accusations and is almost certain of Mr. Watson's paternity. Mr. Watson states their relationship and future marriage hinges on the paternity test results, hoping Kevin is his biological son.
I've known her since we were kids. We need to get these results because, we are engaged and I would like to marry her, and I really hope this is my son.
And you say the relationship's on the line, meaning if the results don't turn out the way you would like, the relationship, the marriage, everything?
It's out the window, Your Honor. It's over with.
Mr. Watson claims Miss Mahoney had 2 men living with her, providing gifts and support. She confirms this, but explains it was due to her financial struggles, and they were family friends. She asserts she only offered them a place to stay, denying any other involvement. Mr. Watson, skeptical, believes they were not just close family friends.
Did you ever ask him, are you sleeping with?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
And what was his response?
He said yes.
There's been many girls doing it to the same. We have a problem where there's lots of people that were in our life trying to split us up.
So he said he was having sex with Miss Mahoney?
Yes.
You confronted her about that?
Yes, multiple times.
The conversation revolves around the distinction between being a father and a dad. Mr. Watson argues about the responsibilities he missed while being away and is upset about other men being around the child. A clarification is sought about whether another man claimed to be the biological father or simply taking the role of a father figure.
I do want to make a clarification. Did he say he was the biological father, or did this man say he was stepping up to be a father?
No, he said
Pretty
that,
much, Your Honor.
He said
he
that
takes
was
it how he wants.
He said that was his kid and that he's in love with her and that's his girl. He always says that. Even to this day, he says that, Your Honor.
The dialogue delves into allegations of fidelity. Mr. Watson brings up accusations he heard about Miss Mahoney's alleged relations with multiple men. These claims were apparently made by her former friend, who also stated they were intimate under a bridge. Miss Mahoney confronts Mr. Watson about this, pointing out the hypocrisy in his accusations towards her.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman in any kind.
We've heard that before.
Right.
Was there sexual contact?
Yes, Your Honor.
So how can you not expect this woman to do that?
Because that was her best friend. That was her ride or die. They were together every day of the minute.
Miss Mahoney recounts the emotional aftermath of discovering what transpired between Mr. Watson and her best friend. This revelation led to Mr. Watson expressing doubts about the paternity of their child, even influencing the naming process. In response to the paternity questions, Miss Mahoney sought out a DNA test through government assistance in conjunction with child support.
Mr. Watson, why don't you believe those results?
I even posted it on Facebook.
Because first of all, Your Honor, her friend forged paper. I didn't see no government stamp on it. When I read it, it read like 99
of the black population.
The court, having done its research, discovered that it typically takes between 2 weeks to a month to obtain such results. Yet Miss Mahoney took 7 days. She couldn't explain the delay, leading to doubts from Mr. Watson. In defense, Miss Mahoney expresses her shock that in court, the question of a delayed DNA result becomes the focus.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Watson, you are the father.
See? I love you so much.
I'm sorry, baby. I love you.
Ms. Crow has brought Miss Reinhardt to court to prove that Miss Reinhardt's deceased son, J.C. Turner, is the father of Miss Crow's 2-year-old son, Thomas. Miss Crow wants her son to know his family heritage. Miss Reinhardt, however, believes that Miss Crow is falsely claiming J.C. as the father in order to gain financial benefits from his death.
Miss Crow, are you doing this just for the money?
It is more than just the money. I would like help with my son, yes, of course, but my son cannot grow up and meet his father. So he deserves that right to know who his father is and to know who his family is.
Miss Crow met Jay at a skate park, and they quickly became close. They entered a relationship, had unprotected sex, and she later became pregnant. Jay was happy about the pregnancy and never denied being the father. If alive, she believes they wouldn't be in court over paternity issues.
He'd have believed you if you told him the sky was purple.
Well, that's your own opinion. That's your own opinion.
The mental capacity of a 16-year-old.
And this how, okay, and you know what? He had feelings.
He was schizophrenic.
He had feelings.
He was schizophrenic and he had stress seizures.
And I took care of him.
And my son,
I didn't leave him because of that.
Mom.
Miss Reinhardt believes her son was too close to her to hide a child. She argues that her grandchildren all resemble her and displays their similarities using baby pictures. Miss Crow counters saying her genes are strong. She believes her son shares traits and behaviors with Jay.
Miss Crow, do you see a resemblance to his dad?
My son, he has silly sense of humor like Jay. He likes to dance like Jay. And you know, just right there, you can see it. Like his hair, that is Jay. There are things about him that are a lot like me, but at the same time, you cannot deny that. That's his father.
The speaker recounts ending a relationship due to concerns over her partner's behavior and safety concerns for her children. Despite difficulties reaching Miss Reinhardt, she sent her partner to Topeka, Kansas. When their son Thomas was born, JC proudly claimed, and the speaker remained confident, that JC was the father, having been with no one else.
He did come when my son was 3 months old. He had me take pictures on his phone with him and his son. And after that, you know, we went our separate ways and, you know, other things happened, but I was trying to take care of my family, you know, and that's what I was doing.
All I know is I saw a picture on Facebook of another man that
my
she was
boyfriend.
with.
That's not his father. He was Jamaican. Does he look half Jamaican?
The speaker describes being separated from JC, living in different locations. She discovers JC's passing through a Facebook post by a mutual friend. In her distress, she confirms his death with the coroner's office. She highlights that she was the one who informed Miss Reinhardt of JC's demise. Where will the DNA result lead this case?
It has been determined by this court. The percentage of relatedness between Ms. Reinhardt and Thomas Crow is 99.6% you are related.